Ceramic coating misconceptions
and mistakes. I'm Ivan.
I'm Nick.
This is the DIY Detail Podcast. There's a lot of, let's say, myths, misconceptions, and mistakes that people make with ceramic coatings.
We call it the 3 M's. Myths, misconceptions, and mistakes.
Yeah.
We just made that up. But basically, there's a lot of talk about ceramic coatings out there.
Right.
There's a lot of buzz. We're here to cut through it all, so if you've never applied one before, I want you to know this. If you're thinking about getting one installed professionally, I want you to know this stuff.
Right.
And if you're a pro, let's cut right to it. Let's get to the truth bombs about ceramic coatings.
So the first one that we see the most, you need special products to wash your ceramic coating. Nothing could be further from the truth. Ceramic coating companies and installers sell it as, this is very good against chemicals. It's chemically resistant. It can withstand from a pH 2 to a pH of 13. But if you're washing it, you have to use a pH balanced soap because it might damage the coating. One of those two statements is wrong. Figure out which one it is. Will it withstand between pH of 2 and 13, or do you need a pH balanced soap to clean it?
If you have a real ceramic coating, it can withstand different types of chemicals because they are chemically resistant.
Yeah, our coatings, not an issue. You could wash it with something up to a pH of 11 or 12 regularly and not do any damage to the coating. Or pH of 4 if you wanted to. Basically saying you need a pH balanced soap on a coating is someone not knowing what they're talking about. They don't know the product that they're selling. That's basically what it comes down to.
I would say ceramic coatings are not bulletproof.
Oh,
How would you feel about that one?
That's another one. There are some companies that advertise it as it resists rock chips, it resists scratching, it's impervious to just about anything. No, rocks are still gonna chip it. You're still going to scratch it. An angry X with a set of keys is still going to write a very nasty word on the side of your vehicle.
Oh, that's a creative one.
Yeah. The coating is not going to prevent that. Never has, never will. Never will. Technology advances. We never know. But at this moment, there's not a coating that is scratch resistant. Now, or scratch proof. Scratch resistance in a coating comes from a couple different things. And just invoking scratch resistance is wrong. It's more marring resistance or light mark resistant, but it's not scratch resistant. What's happening with a coating, let's put an image in your brains. We have a concrete floor. We put a sheet of steel over the concrete floor. We can walk on it, we can drive on it. That sheet of steel stays flat. It might get slight little scratches in it, but still stays flat because the substrate underneath the steel, so the concrete underneath the steel, is just as stiff, is just as hard. A ceramic coating, another myth we'll get to later, is hardness. Most coatings, or if not all, are at least 9H. And most coatings, if not all, are a maximum of 9H. Again, we're getting back to that one. But your paint is 6H, and that H refers to the pencil scale. So remember in school you had an HB pencil, or you had a 2H or a 2B. The 2B was really dark, the 2H was a little lighter, and the higher the H number, the harder the pencil. So the pencil hardness test is what is used to determine the scratch resistance of a coating, or the marring resistance. Now let's go back to that sheet of steel. That sheet of steel, let's say, is 9H. The concrete floor, about an 8H. On paint, we have maybe 5 to 6H of hardness. Then we're putting something 9H onto it. We have 100 microns of paint on average, and a coating measures about 1 micron in thickness. So putting 1 micron over 100 microns is not going to make that big of a difference in the hardness of everything underneath it. So let's take our sheet of steel, lift it off the concrete floor, put a nice queen size mattress underneath it. Put the sheet of steel back on a queen size mattress. Walk across it. What happens to the sheet of steel?
You tell me.
It bends, it breaks, it's no longer flat because the substrate that's underneath it is softer. And when we think of something trying to scratch the ceramic coated vehicle, what it's doing is it's applying pressure. Scratch is a pressure in something harder or as hard as the substrate. When it's applying pressure, the coating itself is going, no big deal, I got this. The paint underneath is going, whoa, 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 that little shield on top of me, not doing anything. The scratch still happens. So paint is not scratch resistant. and neither are ceramic coatings. Now, if we take away that sheet of steel, we leave the mattress there. And then we take one of those medieval torture devices, you know, the ball with all the nails sticking out of it?
Okay, I can picture that.
Yeah. And drag it across the mattress without the sheet of steel. It's gonna rip the mattress to shreds.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Take that same medieval torture device or weapon or whatever you want to call it and put it down below. And drag it across the sheet of steel on top of the mattress. Now the sheet of steel will get a little scratched up, but the mattress underneath will remain pristine. That is what a coating is doing. So that piece of pollen going across the surface, or that little molecule of dirt as you're driving down the road, as it goes along the surface, doesn't have enough pressure to scratch because that coating is super hard. So, but if it had enough pressure to it, even though you have a coating, it's still gonna scratch.
It just occurred to me that getting a ceramic coating might be like getting a cool grill, or getting into coffee grinders, or getting into crocheting. Like any hobby out there is gonna have a rabbit hole,
Right.
and it's gonna have nuances to it.
Exactly.
Basic principles are this: if you get someone to install a ceramic coating for you, how you wash and maintain and touch the car for the rest of its lifetime matters.
Right. Now, some people think that if I have
And I just mean like staying
definitely.
a little engaged in this world and knowing a little bit about how this stuff works.
Right.
Watching a few of our videos, you don't have to become a professional detailer.
No.
But engaging on YouTube and reading up on this stuff, it doesn't hurt. You don't have to go crazy with it and
No.
ruin your life and just ignore your whole family and go right into the rabbit hole. But you could learn a little bit about this stuff so that you can think critically in the moment to be like, what do I do if this happens? Or how might I best
Right.
keep my paint health today in this situation?
Right. And I've read online some people saying, I don't want to get a ceramic coating, it's too much maintenance. Well, that's false. Ceramic coating is actually less maintenance than your paint. If you don't have a ceramic coating on your paint, you need to wax it every 3 months. It's going to get scratched a lot faster. It's going to get dirtier faster. So a ceramic coating doesn't need any special maintenance. That is some installers that they're misled by their coating company or coating companies putting it out there that, no, if you have a ceramic coating on your car, now you can barely drive it, don't touch it, you need special soaps, you need special this. No, that's not why you get a ceramic coating. You get a ceramic coating because I don't have to wash it as often. It's looking good. I don't need any special things to wash it because it's more chemically resistant. Over the life of the vehicle, yes, it's going to get little scratches and love marks on it, but it's going to get less of those because of the hardness of the ceramic coating.
So, devil's advocate, or the question that I get sometimes is,
Yeah.
if a ceramic coating is so good, then why do I need all these toppers like ceramic gloss or quick beads? Like, aren't those getting the actual protection? Like, why would I use those if I have the coating there in the first place? And or is it better to just put ceramic gloss on my vehicle after every wash versus get a ceramic coating?
Right. So, part A of that question, you don't need any special toppers with our coatings. Some companies, you need their special topper or else you don't have a warranty, this, that, and the other thing. Do you want to use them? Of course. It's more fun when you're washing the vehicle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Not only that, depending on how you're washing. So if you're washing with a rinseless wash, you can have this for 10 years and never put a topper on it, and it's going to be good. On the other hand, if you're washing with soap and water, you're rinsing away those incredible suds, and what's left on the surface is just water. Now you have no drying aid. And a lot of people look at ceramic gloss or quick beads as drying aids, and that's what they are. But a drying aid should actually be better termed a drying lubricant. Yes, it's helping in drying, but the real reason we're putting it on the paint is to lubricate so that when that towel goes across, it's not causing any micro marring. And the marring that a good quality microfiber towel can induce into a paint is very, very minimal. It takes time to accumulate before you see something. But if you're using something like ceramic gloss or quick beads, you're going to get that nice smooth finish. You're not going to have to press down as hard on your towel or feel like you have to press down as hard on the towel. And you're not going to have to go over the section as many times. So think of them as drying lubricants. Are they necessary? No. Are they beneficial? Definitely.
They add protection, they add gloss, they add slickness. Like, I like using them, but I often wonder, what would the world be like if I never used them at all and just relied on that ceramic coating?
Now, part B of your question. Can I just use those and never put a ceramic coating on? Yes, you can. But you will not get the same protection as if you have the ceramic coating that's there, and then put those on. Those are short-term ceramic sealants. They're gonna last anywhere from 3, 9, maybe 12 months if you maintain it properly. Ceramic coating is gonna last 3, 5, 8 years, and even longer than that. We say our coatings are rated for 3, 5, and 8 years. That's the characteristic of the coating. So water spotting resistance, 3-year with the 3-year coating, 5-year exceptional gloss, 8-year extended durability and ease of washing and slickness. So those are the characteristics. The coating itself, the way our coatings are engineered and designed, they're polysiloxane, they're SiO2, there's silicon nitride, there's silicon carbide. So those 4 ingredients combined make it so that the only way of removing that coating is mechanically. You need to sand off or compound off 2 microns of paint before you've removed the coating. So with a good ceramic coating, do you need the toppers? No. The toppers, like ceramic gloss, you put it on every time you wash your car. Yes, you're gonna get exceptional slickness and beading, and your paint's gonna be protected from the love marks of washing. But it doesn't have the same chemical resistance as the real or the actual ceramic coating.
There are best intentions, and then there's the reality of life.
Exactly.
And do you ever think life is going to get in the way of you babying your car? And if you can be honest enough to be like, yes,
yeah,
then you probably want that first initial foundation.
Yeah.
Where the paint is likely polished, meticulously panel prepped,
yeah,
and ceramic coated inch by inch, right? By either you or someone who cares deeply about getting this job right.
Right.
And that way, because I just left Utah for Omaha for 2.5, 3 weeks of filming, when it's out there in the sun for 3 weeks, or when something happens, or when life gets busy and I can't really wash my car the way I want, yeah, the ceramic gloss and the quick beads are awesome, but knowing that I've got an amazing ceramic coating as my base layer, it's a little bit of like peace of mind. And maybe that's not the best example, but you know what I'm saying out there is like getting that foundation. Foundation is huge in marriage, relationships, anything, right?
Exactly.
Like,
you're building a building, you want a concrete foundation.
Exactly.
Not a straw foundation.
One myth, Ivan, is that coatings are difficult to apply.
Some are, trust me. I recently applied a new technology ceramic coating from a professional coating company. And they sell this to their installers as one of the easiest coatings we've ever had. For them, maybe. For me, it was the worst experience I've ever had installing coatings in 20 years with hundreds of brands. Coatings do not need to be difficult to last. Coatings do not need to be difficult to install. There's no reason. The technology is here. The technology exists. The ceramic coatings can be easy to install. Installing a ceramic coating, you need to be meticulous. You need to take your time. It's not that long. It's maybe an hour. But you need to follow directions. And if you can follow basic directions, watch some of our videos, you'll figure out how easy it is to apply ceramic coating. You don't need IR curing lamps. You don't need an amazing shop that's dust-free and all of that. You don't need an operating room. You can do it outside if you want to. It's not that difficult of something to do. You just need to be mindful of what you're doing. Stay in a small area, so do one piece of the vehicle at a time and just work your way around. And then as you get used to it, it'll be faster, it'll be easier. Myself, vehicle like this, 30 minutes maximum, it's coated front to back, top, bottom, everything is done. Some other people, might take them an hour and a half, might take them 2 hours, it doesn't matter. If you're doing it yourself, take the time to do it right, be very judicious in your application, don't over apply, don't under apply, and after you've done a panel or two, you'll go, wow, this isn't hard.
I had someone say that they ran out of coating on a job, and I wondered, I'm like, how much did you use?
Yeah.
Right? And I think that goes to using too much.
Right.
The myth is that you really need a lot in your applicator, and we've probably applied 20 coatings in this little filming stretch we've had, and there have been a couple times where I simply applied too much.
Yeah.
Like, I thought I had all the high spots leveled, and I didn't.
Yeah, basically, if you're seeing runs when you're applying it, you're putting way too much on the surface.
So what is a run? I mean, let's just make it that easy.
Well, like a paint run. So, if you're painting the side of your house and you have too much paint on your brush, there's going to be a run in the paint.
Yep, like a big drip.
Yeah, exactly.
Some people know this intuitively. I'm just like, going dummy level, like, if you can't see it, what does it look like? Yeah. And you think you're wiping that off right away and you're good, but...
Right, you've got too heavy an accumulation of coating, and eventually a high spot will come out of nowhere. And
Which is kind of a scary thought, because you think you level it and it's done, and then it could come out of nowhere.
Right. But not to stress, they're easy to get rid of.
Yeah.
So basically, when you're applying, apply it, and then an hour later, come back and take a look at it again. High spots, they may have miraculously showed up in a few areas that you had way too much material. And that's not a big deal.
Or I would highly recommend a sunlight check.
Yeah.
Get the vehicle in different lighting than you coated it in.
Exactly.
Within the first hour, and just be like, did I miss anything? Because I think I didn't miss anything. It looked really good. But Nick and Ivan said to just check.
Yeah.
So just check.
Now, one other myth that's out there is mobile detailers cannot apply ceramic coatings. Wrong. I have a friend that's been applying ceramic coatings in a mobile setting for 20 years. His customers are more than satisfied. Most of his customers are return customers. He doesn't take new customers because he's wanting to retire one day. But he's never had a garage. He's never done it inside.
He has canopies every once in a while, if I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. He has a canopy because it's hot.
Yeah.
He wants shade. But other than that, if he's early morning, late afternoon, when it's not that hot, he's happy to do it under the sun. So coatings can be applied in just about any setting.
Does he do rinseless or foam cannon, or how does he wash in California?
He does both, yeah. Now, one other thing that is a common myth about the application of a coating is that you need to have a dust-free environment. Yes, you do, to a point. Once the ceramic coating is applied to this fender, let's say, that's it. It could rain dust in here. As soon as you've wiped and leveled that coating, dust is not going to affect it. So there's no need to worry about that. These coatings get instantaneously slick. You know what? You remark every time we install a coating, it's like, oh God, this is slick.
Yeah, well, you do too.
Yeah, I know, because
You're not immune from it either.
Yeah, exactly. No, we both do. And what's happening is the coating is so slick that the dust can't stick to it. So you don't need to worry about that. Another myth or misconception, and also some people just staying back in the old days and not evolving, is you can't get the coating wet for 24 hours or 8 hours, or worse yet, 72 hours. Our coating's 1 hour later, it's pouring rain out, go for a drive. No big deal. Because the coating has formed a skin. It's not completely cured. It takes 72 hours, it takes 7 days for it to be completely cured through and through, all the way down. But we have a sufficient amount of curing on the surface, a skin, so to say, that water's not going to damage it. You get a bug on it, it's not going to damage it immediately. But if you do get an insect on it, you want to get that off. And that leads us to the next one. Don't wash your car for 7 days. Well, that's not a myth. That one is true. But I'd rather wash my car than have a bird bomb sitting on it, or have the front end covered in insects.
Ooh, I'm listening, Ivan.
So you need to be very selective on what you're doing. Now, if you've driven the car, it just has dust on it, leave the dust there. Don't wash your car. If you went through a storm of bugs and the front end is covered, yes, you're gonna wash your car. If you have a bird bomb, yes, you're gonna wipe it off. Now, you're not gonna wipe it off with a dry towel, you're gonna use rinseless wash. Rinseless wash is the safest method of cleaning your freshly coated vehicle.
And instead of spraying onto the paint, I would probably get my towel nice and damp with rinseless.
Depends on what's there. So
Okay.
if it's a big bird bomb, you wanna soak that bird bomb to let the rinseless do its job.
So you'd rather start to emulsify it and spray it on the paint, let it break it down, and then kind of wipe it up with a damp towel of rinseless?
Right.
Okay.
One of the big reasons we don't want you washing the car for 7 days, there's two of them. First one is surfactants can damage the coating. We know that with our rinseless and our incredible suds, we're using very high quality, high level surfactants that in a day, we could actually wash this, it's fine. We're not telling you to do that. We're saying that with our products, it is possible to do so. There's some really cheap surfactants out there. There's some really cheap polymers. There's some products that don't provide the right lubrication. And with the skin that we formed on that makes it impervious to dust and impervious to water after an hour, after a day or so, that skin is also impervious to good quality surfactants. But if you're buying something at the hardware store, at the dollar store, and throwing it on there, then you might have an issue. The other thing is remember that medieval torture device, right?
Yeah.
The mattress and the piece of steel. Well, the mattress itself, the paint underneath, is nice and soft.
So I'm just envisioning like someone creating a meme of Ivan with his medieval torture device. And
it's gonna happen.
I don't know
we
what.
know.
I don't know why my mind
Yeah.
went there. Okay.
Yeah.
Back to the mattress.
So we know it's gonna happen one day. If you want to do it, go right ahead. I've had many memes with me in them. But basically what's happening is your coating is still forming that skin. And if you drag something like you were mentioning, oh, just a damp towel and get that bird crap off of there. Well, if you get that bird balm off like that and you abrade, because the bird balm can be quite abrasive,
Sure.
then you have more risk of scarring the coating. Because it's formed a skin, but the little layer underneath it's still soft for a couple days. So wash it with surfactants. It doesn't matter. Our surfactants, use someone else's. I'm not saying it's going to work out well. I'm not saying it's going to work out bad, but we've tested ours. We know it works.
So if you could, out of direct sunlight, if you could just kind of spray that area,
Yeah.
let it emulsify into kind of more of a soupy mixture as opposed to something real hard and likely to drive into the paint as you wipe.
Yeah.
That's going to be a safe way to pre-treat.
Right.
And then you're saying if you could actually rinse that off,
Yes.
flush it first instead of hitting it with a towel.
Right.
There's also the real world where you see one bug gut, you're in the middle of the parking lot and it's not a good time.
Have a bit of rinseless wash.
Yeah.
Yeah. But basically, pressure is the enemy more than anything else for the first 7 days.
So pressure, number one, and then surfactants is also an enemy, right?
Quality surfactants, good. Unknown surfactants, unknown polymers, not so good.
That's a real thing.
Yeah.
Like we talked to our chemist and the whole behind the scenes process.
Yeah.
We are a boutique product line.
Right.
And whether you think that or not, like in the realm, I mean, there are so many chemicals out there where you can't get anything to mix, right?
Yeah.
And you send it to an industrial shop and they're like, oh yeah, of course I got to mix this up.
Yeah.
But like the level of this game and this chemistry is very interesting. So the ingredients, the raw ingredients we use in the chemistry, it is boutique. These are great ingredients.
Exactly.
And that's not by accident. It doesn't just happen. So just so you know, there's a lot out there.
Right.
We were just having this conversation today. So
Yeah.
Another myth, Ivan, is that you have to have a professional install your ceramic coating.
No, you don't. Now, I'm a professional detailer, have been for 40 some years, and I still support the professional detailers install ceramic coatings. You've seen the work we've done. You watch our videos. You notice we don't just take a car, sort of half-ass wipe it down and apply a coating. That isn't the way. And your coating's not going to last if you do that. The big part of the work is not applying the ceramic coating. The big majority of the work is prepping up until the point where you're applying the ceramic coating. We can spend hours prepping the vehicle to apply ceramic coating, and together it takes us 15 minutes to apply the coating. So the coating is sort of an anti-climax of, oh yeah, that wasn't that hard. So no, applying the ceramic coating isn't hard. But getting your paint to the point of cleanliness, and this is another myth, paint does not need to be perfect for it to have a ceramic coating.
So one myth is that you have to polish before you coat.
Right. Some people say if the paint isn't perfect, if there's the minor slight flaw in the paint, I have to polish again and polish again until there's no flaws whatsoever. Trust me, your ceramic coating doesn't care. This could be all scratched. The coating doesn't care. What the coating cares about is clean paint. It needs clean paint to bond to. Coatings, there's a lot of different technologies out there. There's some coatings that literally sit on the surface of the paint. There's some coatings like ours that don't sit on the surface. They actually become the surface of the paint in the sense that your paint, if you look at it under a microscope, is porous. It looks like a sponge. Some coatings just sort of float on top and stay there. Ours reinvigorates or changes the top 2 or 3 microns of paint. And yes, it leaves a little layer on top, but that top 2 or 3 microns is there. And so we're actually modifying those top 2 or 3 microns. That's why we get so much slickness and water beading. There's some coatings that just sit on top that you feel them and they feel like rubber when you're done. So that's the other thing. Now another big myth, and get your keyboards ready for this one.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
You've been warned.
You can't take your coated car through a car wash.
False.
Yeah, very false. I did it with my own car many, many, many times.
I believe 74 times.
74 car washes with the little Fiat.
And we never put ceramic gloss on that bad boy.
Ever. It never got, so always the cheapest wash. And Sylvie and I travel around visiting detailers all over the country. We would purposely ask the detailer, what's the worst car wash in town? That's the one I want to go to. And the reason I wanted to do that is to show people that yes, the coating wasn't pristine when I was done. There was little love marks and stuff on it. But if you looked at the coated side versus the non-coated side, there was a huge difference. And the whole series of that vehicle will be down below. So check the description out, it's down there.
But yes. it was visual.
Oh yeah, it was visual.
Like you could see more scratches on the non-coated side.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
So it wasn't just that one was water beading and the other wasn't.
No.
But we talk about scratches and are they scratch resistant or not.
Yeah.
The coated side had a less scratched up
definitely.
appearance.
Yeah, and it cleaned up easier, it cleaned up faster.
Right, those are the things that we
Yeah.
know about coatings. But
Exactly.
it was just interesting to have you, having gone through abrasive car washes 74 times. And
Yeah, well actually 70 of those and 4 chemical-only car washes.
Yeah.
I went into the car wash thinking, sometimes there are some car washes where they have the brushes there, but if you get the lowest cost car wash, because I didn't want any of their sealants and waxes and drying aids and stuff put on it, they don't turn the brushes on. They just chemically douse it. So that's another big myth. And there's a lot of detailers out there that say to customers that want to pay them for a ceramic coating, no, if you take it through the car wash, I'm not putting ceramic coating on your car. You're wrong.
Seems like a silly business.
Yeah, and the customer wants that. The customer can benefit from a ceramic coating even if they take their car through a car wash every day. They're still going to benefit from the ceramic coating. Their vehicle will go through the car wash and come out cleaner. That's a benefit for them. Secondly, they're not going to damage the paint as much, and they're damaging the coating, not the paint underneath.
Another myth is my coating stopped beading. It must be dead or gone.
Yeah, my coating failed. Now, as I mentioned before, there are some coatings that just sit on top of the paint, and the technology of coating isn't equal for everyone.
No, I mean, there are some coatings that fail.
Oh, definitely.
100%.
100%
It happens.
Yeah.
It's a sad day. I mean, if we can play some sad music here, it's...
But most coatings, good quality coatings, they will get clogged with usually road salt. So in the winter, if you live in an environment that they have snow, they put stuff on the roads that isn't very pleasant for your vehicle. And it's definitely not pleasant for your coating. And it has a layer of salt down the side that you don't see. It's there. And if you've driven on a wet road in a snowy area where they've laid the salt down, you have the white plumes going down the side of your car. In the spring, those white plumes, take a picture of them. That's where the beading will be gone on your car. Very easy fix, water spot remover, spray it on, let it dwell, rinse it off, and the coating is back to life.
And if you want to go the extra step, you could do your wash and then spray it on and then agitate it in with a rinseless dampened towel. We've done some videos about how to rejuvenate your coating, but that's just another myth. If you're thinking, I spent a lot of money on this, if I had a pro install it, or I got DIY details coating, why is it no longer beating? Try some water spot remover and you're gonna see the beading restored. And it's not because it's a ceramic infused detailer. No, it is no water beading properties. It is just cleaning the paint.
Right. 9H, 8H, 7H, 10H. It's the pencil scale. Now, some companies advertise it as the MOHS, Mohs scale. It is not the Mohs scale of hardness. It is the pencil scale of hardness. And the way it's tested is they apply ceramic coating to a substrate that is harder than the ceramic coating. And this is very important. We're putting ceramic coating on something that's softer than the ceramic coating. They're putting it on something that's harder. And then they're dragging literally a pencil across it and going Is there a scratch there? No scratch. Let's get a harder pencil. No scratch. Let's get a harder pencil. No scratch. Till they get to 9H. Because the pencil scale actually ends at 9H. Unless, great marketing trick here, you're using the Mitsubishi pencil scale, which goes to 10H. But a 10H Mitsubishi pencil is a 9H regular pencil. They just divide it in 10. They have 10 increments instead of 9 increments to get from point A to point B. So whether your coating says 9H or 10H, it's the same thing. Now, this is where the test really changes though. They take their stylus, that is the pencil point, that's 9H, because they've established that with 100 grams of weight on that stylus, when they move it across that surface, there's no scratching. Let's add another 50 grams. Let's add another 50 grams and keep going. So some coatings are scratch resistant to 9H at 100 grams. Some of them are only 50 grams. Some of them are 500 grams of weight on the tip of the pencil going across the coating before it scratches. So we've all had coatings, and honestly, don't worry about the hardness of your coating, simply because it's on a softer substrate. It's that sheet of steel on a mattress. When they're testing it, they're doing the sheet of steel on concrete. So no matter how hard they press down, the concrete underneath isn't moving. But now we're taking that stylus, and the paint underneath is far from 9H and far from able to support 500 grams of weight on it. If you take your pencil and put 500 grams, which is a pound, or 2 pounds, sorry. No, 1 pound, my mistake. So if you take your pencil and put 1 pound on it, a pound is 454 grams. So you put 1 pound of weight on your 9H pencil and take it across your paint on your car, you're pretty much gonna scratch your car.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even
Don't
if you
try that actually.
No, and even if you have the best ceramic, go to the scrapyard if you want to do that test. You can have the best ceramic coating in the world, the paint underneath it is still too soft for that.
Very fascinating stuff.
Yeah.
Myths, misconceptions, and another word that starts with M.
Mistakes.
About ceramic coating. What do y'all think? Comment below with some of your thoughts, and if you have any to add to this. Obviously, if you found value in this, it was free for you to watch, so a subscription from you,
a thumbs up,
subscribe button, thumbs up, would be amazing.
Ding, 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 the notification bell.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
You know what to do. And if you're curious about learning more, we're gonna do a ceramic coating video right here that we really think adds value. We will see you there.
Yeah.
Can't wait.